Dun dun dun! And the king, the real king, gets dethroned. Penultimate episode, shake up! Not exactly what I was hoping for, but I wanted to be entertained. I was entertained because I did actually start thinking, maybe he can get through this. But then once I see the votes for Romeo start coming up, I'm like, yeah, almost gone. He's gone. Right. And just, yeah, that was pretty much this whole episode. Just everyone plotting against each other, trying to assert their own games in there, along with Plan Bs to keep themselves safe. Jonathan versus Lynn. Z Omar versus Mike. Omar versus Jonathan. Mike doing all kinds of stuff. Just, oh man. That was really entertaining. Although, the biggest issue that gets to me about this episode, because I don't really think that there's that much point in me picking apart all of these social interactions, even in the chronological setting, because it's just a repeat after repeat situation in my mind. So I should really be talking about what stands out, if you ask me. So what really stands out is Lindsay going, I'm not going to play my idol for you, Omer, because I don't want it to be re-hidden. But it's not an idol. Now, in the moment, it's an idol, don't get me wrong, but the actual thing is not an idol, it's an amulet, which combined forms an advantage. It's not a typical idol. This is something that gets tossed from my perspective. This is the equivalent of a merge idol, which they do it. Oh, that's where the bug is. Wait a second, is that a wasp? No, literally, there's a huge bug crawling down the back door just a couple feet away from me, and I'm pretty sure it's a wasp. Okay, anyway. I'm pretty sure they have done merge idols in a couple of international versions of this show. And then Kagayan, you had the merge idol, which was a super idol, so there you go, right. But this is not a regular idol situation. Now, if Marianne uses her idol, in theory they could rehide it because Triple H has shown that they actually do rehide idols, or at least at some point they decided to rehide idols with one day to go. Because given how much idol dynamics have changed and the switching of tribes, it's almost impossible to determine a normal system of rules when it comes to these things anymore. It's just crazy. But the amulets would not have been rehidden if you ask me. Then there's Omar choosing a different reward in order to bring more people on there. I said that's smart for him to do that and trying to bend the logic in various ways. I'm not going to full on critique it. It's just the overall strategy. I'd say it's a smart one. Did the individual bits execute it best? Honestly, I couldn't say. You should probably watch Rob's sister Nino's video about that. And unfortunately, lately I haven't really been doing that just because I'm a little too busy to listen to everybody doing their various things, even though all I have going on outside of chill time is exercise and working at my grocery store. But since I'm there 40 hours a week, typically, or just under, that eats up a lot of time. Wow. Okay. Let's see. Those challenges, pretty darn good challenges. And it was really nice to see Omar actually get a little bit of a victory. And he's right. That puzzle that they do, that's no joke. Because Spencer, he got screwed by that in Kagayan. And then in Millennials vs. Gen X, kind of got screwed, but I really wish they had just made a different color for her puzzle because if you, I've said this before, but if you look at all the other people that were doing that challenge, they had their puzzles with black lines and a colored background. She had a black background and white lines. It's a different trick with the eyes. You seriously couldn't have found another shade to, you know? Right. Let's see here. Anything else to mention? Not really, as far as I can tell, honestly, because again, all the social dynamics, they just seem to repeat over and over again, and plus, at the end of these penultimate episodes, I do a bit where I talk about each individual person and where they stand, so that's where I think everything else is going to be. So, now that we're down to 5 people, where do I stand with them? Romeo, like with Dalton Ross, is saying his most likely fate is to get to the end and then not get a single vote. Who knows? He might end up being the pawn in the file-making challenge and then get voted out, or he might get booted at the final 5 because the intended target, say it's Lindsay, wins immunity, and they want to focus on unbeating her. Although Jonathan should be able to do that, so it's perfectly possible that he doesn't make it, but right now, that's, I think, his most likely fate, and even then, that's the furthest he can get. Like, if this guy gets votes on that jury, oh, brother, right. And no, I don't have a problem with saying this about a top pick, because even though I say that this is a top pick to win, this is just a bet of who I think could win when the merge happens, and as I've said before, the streak that I've got isn't having a top pick winning, even though I did have a top pick winning from season 22 to 25. Yes, Denise was my top pick over Malcolm. He was on the top pick list, but I was more for Denise winning over him, actually. Unlike most people out there. Well, that wants to go. So, getting back to Romeo, that's all I can say about him. Marianne, she's really stepping into it, but the problem is, while she's doing a good job of actually making moves, I don't really know if she has the power to really give a speech that is going to relate to that jury. Now, getting rid of Omer, that's good, but if she really wants to take this thing, she's got to get rid of Mike, and most likely get rid of Lindsay too, if you ask me. We have to see how that goes on her bit. Lindsay, she's going to be a little formidable in the challenges, but unless everyone starts getting really wary of Mike, and Lindsay seems to be the only one that is wary of Mike, I don't really think that she's got much of a case. So if she loses immunity, she's probably going to get tossed, even if it's not Jonathan that wins it, although it stands to reason that one of them is going to win the next challenge. But of course, Omer pulled that surprise victory. Maybe Mike will pull a surprise one, because he's going to be better at these things than Romeo. So Lindsay, I really see her walking. Can't figure out her winning this one. Mike, contrary to what I said in my merge video, he actually, I think, is the person most likely to win this game if he makes it, which is really interesting. But you see all the very subtle bits that he had with people and relating to them. Now, granted, okay, this isn't exactly what you expect of people when they're playing this game, but at the same time, it is a strategy. And unlike Fabio, you can tell that Mike is actually making some real connections here. Fabio, okay, sure, I'm sure that he made some connections with people, because there's nothing wrong with Fabio as a person. Absolutely nothing. But he didn't really do anything to win that game, and he himself says, it's the fact that I didn't really do things to cause problems with any of you that make me the better person. Here, yeah, right, so you just got your BFFs and the quitters. Yeah, that's just great, yeah, but anyways. Actually, wait. Fabio got two BFFs and Chase more or less got two BFFs. Maybe three. Okay, never mind. It's the quitters, that's all. Moving on. Let's see here. But yeah, he's the front runner if he makes it. That's really surprising, but hey, at least they've definitely planted enough evidence here. Granted, you might be able to overlook it, there it is, but it's not as bad as what was going on with Erica, right? And then, who am I missing here? Jonathan. I don't know, dude. You haven't really got anything to, show for it, honestly. I mean, like, the only thing that you've got going for you is a slight fight to stay alive, but even then, it's not really a fight to stay alive because you were working with all the correct people for the longest time, and it's just because you're so good at these things, both on here and on Endurance Fiji, although I'm amazed that no one has brought this up. He didn't even mention that in his audition tape, as far as I can tell. So, yeah, he hasn't really got that much to his record, but I honestly would not be too surprised if he gets booted right before the end, like with what happened to him on Endurance. Oh, spoiler alert, guys, that season of Endurance sucked. Okay, trust me on this. You're not missing out on much by missing that season, believe me, you're not. Right, so I think that summarizes my thoughts on everybody here, so let's see if a Mike takes this or if one of the girls does it, because Romeo and Jonathan, I really don't see what they've got, and even then, Marianne, who I think is Mike's biggest opponent at this point, is kind of going to really have to craft a speech there. Don't get me wrong, Lindsay's going to get some votes, but if Mike is there, she's kaput. Let's see what happens in a week. See ya, people.